Nithyanandam Paramasukadam Kevalam Jnanamurtim Tandvaditam Gagana Sadrisham Tattvamasyadhyalaksham Ekam Nityam Vimalamajalam Sarvadhi Sakshibhutam Bhavadhitam Trigunarhitam Sadgurantam Namami. Nithyananda, everyone. Welcome you all again for another very beautiful Bhava Samadhi Darshan with the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Bhagavan Sri Nithyananda Paramashivam. Today, we're going to be having the Bhava Samadhi Darshan of the Lingodbhava Murthy. The story of Lingodbhava Murthy is actually very special to Kailasa and to the Nithyananda Sangha, as it is the original story. It is the Puranic Leela, the happening of Arunachala. The history, the Puranic reference of Arunachala can be dated back to the period, to the time of Lingodbhava. It is the Lingodbhava, Paramashiva, manifesting as the Lingodbhava which became Arunachala. As we enter into this segment, we're going to be learning more about the Lingodbhava Murti, about the science of Bhava Samadhi Darshan, and we're going to be doing a couple of internalization exercises to help the principles, the powerful cognitions which Lingodbhava Murti has revealed to the world, allow that to become our cognitive experience. And finally, the grand finale of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, giving the Bhava Samadhi Darshan of Lingodbhava Murti. And so now with this, before we enter into the program directly, we'd like to first introduce the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Bhagavan Sri Nithyananda Paramashivam, to you all. We're going to be looking over the grand narrative of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism was born on the 3rd of January in the year 1978 in the holy town of Tiruvannamalai in South India. On the 17th of July 1981, when the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism was merely 3 years of age, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism was initiated into Bala Sannyas by enlightened beings, masters, and his predecessors through a ritualistic ceremony. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism was identified as an incarnation by enlightened beings and masters such as Yogi Raj Yogananda Puri, Vidwan Panduranganar, and the 238th Guru Maha Sannidhanam of Tonde Mandaladinam of Kanchimat. Here we can see the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism being coronated as the successor of the Arunachala Sarvagnapitam by his Vedanta Guru, Mata Vibhudananda Puri, also lovingly called as Mataji Kupammal. Here you can see a conch, the kamandalu, and the wooden staff. All of these are the traditional items which are passed down from Guru to disciple as a part of the ritualistic ceremony and induction into the lineage as the successor. Here we have the photographs as well of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism with Mata Vibhudananda Puri, as well as the official coronation picture of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism being inducted as the successor of Arunachala Sarvagnapitam. Here we can see the early days in the mission of Kailasa and the mission of the Nithyananda Sangha. On the leftmost side, we have a black and white photo of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, personally with his own hands, brick by brick, constructing the temple monastery complex for his Guru, Mata Vibhudananda Puri, under the guidance of his Gurus. Later in the years, after the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism began the public life, in the year 2001, on April 14th, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism inaugurated and founded the Tiruchengodu Sarvagnapitam, Tiruchengodu Adinam. As you can see here on the photo, in the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism's own handwriting, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism himself annotated and recorded this historic moment in the history of Kailasa, in the history of the Nithyananda Sangha. A year later, on November 2nd, on November 4th, At the age of 24, Hinduism established the headquarters, Adi Kailasa Sarvagnapeetham, in South India. In the years to come, in the year 2004, by the age of 26, the Supreme Pandav of Hinduism had started giving worldwide mass living enlightenment conventions across the globe in various parts of the world, including North America, Europe, Canada, and other places as well. In the year 2005, at the age of 27, the Supreme Pandav of Hinduism was welcomed in St. Louis with the proclamation statement by the mayor Francis G. Slay. Here we can see more glimpses of the early days in the mission, where the Supreme Pandav of Hinduism went on multiple world tours, giving this mass living enlightenment initiation, this Diksha, all across the globe. Here, during the most widely and the largest celebrated festival in the whole world, which is the Kumbh Mela festival, the Supreme Pandav of Hinduism is giving the living enlightenment Diksha to thousands and thousands of people who had gathered and come to celebrate the Kumbh Mela festival, both in the Nasik 2015 Kumbh Mela and the Ujjain 2016 Kumbh Mela. The Supreme Pandav of Hinduism initiated thousands into the science of living enlightenment. Now, we're looking at the various coronations the Supreme Pandav of Hinduism has been coronated of. The first one being at the young age of 10, where the Supreme Pandav of Hinduism was coronated as the 233rd Guru Mahasannidhanam of the Tonde Mandaladinam of Kanchi Kailasa Sarvagnapeetham. In the year 2004, on December 31st, the Supreme Pandav of Hinduism was coronated as the incumbent emperor of the Suryavamshi Surangi Samrajya. In the years following that, the Supreme Pandav of Hinduism was coronated as the 23rd Guru Mahasannidhanam of Dharmamukti Swargapuram Adinam. In the year 2012, the Supreme Pandav of Hinduism was coronated as the 293rd Guru Mahasannidhanam of Kailasonatha Shamlapita Sarvagnapeetham. In the year 2013, the Supreme Pandav of Hinduism was coronated as the Mahamandaleshwar of the Mahanirvani Akhada, the largest apex monastic order of the Nithyananda of the Hinduism. In the year 2000, Pandav of Hinduism was also coronated as the 1008th Acharya Mahamandaleshwar, which is the head of all spiritual leaders of Atal Akhada, which is the ancient most apex body of Hinduism. In the year 2015, in January, the Supreme Pandav of Hinduism was elected as the Supreme Pandav of Hinduism by a congregation of over 1,000 Hindu pontiffs, Hindu leaders. Here we can see and learn more about the sovereign state of United States of Kailasa. Kailasa is a macrocosmic, ancient Hindu enlightened civilizational nation whose vision is living enlightenment for all of humanity. Kailasa's mission is to revive and share with today's world the practical applications of the greater sciences of authentic Hinduism, including physics, Hindu alchemy, Hindu cosmology, Hindu biology, Hindu mathematics, power manifestation, and other sciences as revived by the Supreme Pandav of Hinduism. These sciences were once practiced freely across the 56 nations across the continent, but are now facing extinction due to the persecution which has been going on for over a millennium. Here we can see the 108 various United Nations Sri Kailasa Uniting Nations initiatives being offered by Sri Kailasa Uniting Nations. These 108 initiatives support a variety of humanitarian services which collectively allows for the creation of an enlightened, peaceful, sustainable, equitable, resilient, and thriving world. One of the projects which we're going to be looking at right now, offered by Sri Kailasa Uniting Nations for nutritious food and a hunger-free world, is the No Hungry Home project. Sri Kailasa has served more than 1 billion meals over the past 27 years. Every month for the past 27 years, the Hindu ASMT community has served more than 3 millions, has organized and 3 million annadans, which are the free organic meals as per tradition, and serving a total of 1 billion meals over the past 27 years. These annadan services were conducted during the religious gatherings to everyone without discrimination. 10,000 meals are served daily free of cost, and up to 100,000 meals are served on festival days. Here we can see the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism providing the protective and preventive COVID care centers offered by Sri Kailasa Uniting Nations for affordable and holistic healthcare. During the pandemic, a global event which shook the whole world and gave a lot of insecurities and gave a lot of fear to the whole world. It is only the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism who provided a safe haven for everyone during these trying times by converting his own monasteries as multi-layer quarantine centers. These multi-layer quarantine centers were free for all people regardless of any differences in age, gender, caste, creed, ethnicity, color, or social economic status. Basic facilities such as food, shelter, medical facilities, medical care, and internet were all provided free of cost for an indefinite amount of time. More than 30 million citizens followed Kailasa's 28-day spiritual regimen in the year 2020 to protect ourselves and each other from the COVID-19 pandemic. Next, we're looking at Sri Kailasa Uniting Nations for Education Reform and Development, offering the Nithyananda Hindu University project and the Nithyananda Gurukul project. The Nithyananda Hindu University was established by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism and is the world's largest Hindu university. The Nithyananda Gurukul was inaugurated by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism on the 2nd of October in the year 2006. The Nithyananda Gurukul was established to revive the ancient Adi Shaivite Guru-disciple education system, which is an authentic knowledge transmission system based on enlightenment. Nithyananda Hindu University has more than 20 million enrollments, more than 7,000 free courses, and has extended campuses in over 150 different countries. Here, we can see the Nithyananda Jnanalaya project and the Hinduismpedia offered by Sri Kailasa Uniting Nations for the protection of Hindu scriptures. The Nithyananda Hindu Jnanalaya project was established by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism to collect and preserve the 1 million Hindu scriptures while ensuring that knowledge is made accessible and shared free of cost to all, collecting as well as preserving the 1 million source books on Hinduism. The Hinduismpedia project is a collection collected by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism of more than 15 terabyte of digital material, digital books, rare manuscripts from all the 19 Sarvanya Pitas, ancient mutts, and ashrams. More than 1 million pages on Hinduism, a collection of 22,000 digital books, 1,000 e-textbooks, and more than 100 articles on various topics on Hinduism. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism himself has authored more than 1,000 books, which have been authored in 3 different languages and translated into 50 other different languages, has authored and published more than 100,000 articles, and has given 10,000 hours of free discourses with a combined view of 1 billion. Here, we can see Sri Kailasa Uniting Nations for Global Peace and Religious Harmony, offering confluences for world peace. In the year 2009, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism organized a month-long peace walk covering 1,000 kilometers and 1,000 villages to bring together in harmony from all walks of life to promote feeling connection and oneness among people. During the walk, health is along the path, and as you can see here in the photos, thousands and thousands of people have gathered in the streets as a part of the peace walk. Yes. Now, we are looking at the women empowerment programs offered by Sri Kailasa Uniting Nations and gender equality. Kailasa's Yogini Sarvanya is the establishment of yoga and meditation universities to empower the quality of life and emphasis on life solutions through Vedas and through the Agamas, empowering the indigenous rural women, fighting against wrongful gender violence and lack of inclusive and quality learning environments. Some of these initiatives include the Nithyananda Lakshmi project, which is a microfinancing service, Kailasa's Women Foundation and Women Empowerment Self-Help Centers, launched in 108 places around the world since its initiation in the year 2009. Kailasa's Ankita program, which is providing foundational literacy about working of basic community services and infrastructural environments, as well as Kailasa's Ashriya program, which is providing vocational training programs to rural and indigenous women to provide equal opportunities and access to independent, self-sufficient financial environments for them. Not only that, but the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has also revived Vedic feminism in Kailasa, where more than 80% of leadership positions are occupied by women. Here we can see Sri Kailasa Uniting Nations for Yoga offering the Nithyananda Yoga. The Nithyananda Kriyas are 108 scientifically validated Kriyas revived by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, specifically targeting the 108 major diseases and disorders such as diabetes, arthritis, blood pressure, rheumatism, and more. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, pole yoga, which is the Shiva Stamba yoga, and rope yoga, the Kundalini Rajju yoga, in which yogic asanas, postures, and weight balancing techniques are performed to create the yogic physiology, aligning it to the cosmic geometry that manifests superconscious powers. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has also been awarded 2 Guinness World Records for the largest rope yoga, which is the Kundalini Rajju yoga, and largest pole yoga, Shivastamba yoga classes, bringing worldwide attention to these extraordinary forms of yoga. These Guinness World Records were received by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism on the 30th of September and 3rd of October, respectively. Despite being heavily persecuted continuously for over a decade, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is unwavering in his intention, commitment, and action in building the only Hindu nation, the sovereign state of Sri Kailasa, to protect, revive, and preserve Hinduism, the most ancient, most peaceful, still living, and long lasting demonstrable system that shows the possibility of peaceful coexistence amongst the people. We are now looking at one of the most historic moments and in the history of the Nityananda Sangha, where Kailasa, the first nation of Hindus led by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Bhagavan Sri Nithyananda Paramashivam, spoke on behalf of the 2 billion global Hindu diaspora at the 14th session of the United Nations Forum on Minority Issues. Milestone in the history of Hindus and the sovereign state of Sri Kailasa happened on the 2nd of December 2021. His Excellency Sri Nitya Moksha Priyananda, Ambassador Extraordinary and Plenipotentiary of Kailasa, represented the persecution of Hindus at the 14th session of the United Nations Forum on Minority Issues. The theme of the forum was conflict prevention and the protection of the human rights of minorities. This was the first time the plight of persecuted Hindu minorities was represented in the United Nations. The ongoing, systematic, generational attacks on Hindu indigenous traditions were highlighted as a part of this meeting. Here, we are witnessing the various torture and murder attempts by state and non-state actors on the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism and on Kailasa. Over 70 assassination attempts and physical attacks have been made on the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism in India as well as in abroad. 40 attacks on community members, destruction of monasteries and temples, over 60 incidences of attacks, molestation, and rape of women and women monks, intense lawfare through the 100 false legal cases put on the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, intersectional persecution using the entire government mechanism, politically owned media, police, judiciary controlled by politicians, inciting mob violence through the social media. These are just but very few examples, very few ways anti-Hindu elements, anti-spiritual elements had tried to persecute and try to get rid of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism and try to pillage the Sangha. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, in his untiring devotion, in his tyaga, his sacrifice, and will persist intention to manifest and make the only Hindu nation, has resulted in the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism establishing the sovereign state of Kailasa, so that Hindus have a place, a safe place, where Hinduism can be practiced freely, without any persecution, without any violence, and without any problems. One of the major contributions the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has made to society, to humanity, is the science of power manifestation. The science of power manifestation dates back all the way millennia ago to the time of our ancient rishis, to the time of Paramashiva himself, where Paramashiva has revealed 463 different powers which can be manifested by each and every one of us. In this next segment today, we're going to be learning more and understanding about the science of power manifestation, how the power manifestation science, how you manifest the powers of Paramashiva, how by connecting with the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, these powers can manifest in your life right now, as well as a live demonstration of the powers of third eye in consciousness over matter. After the break, we'll be joined with Sri Paramashananda Maharaj, who will be doing a live demonstration of these powers. Please stay tuned, we'll be right back.
For centuries, we've sought to understand the essence of life. Is it not what we all yearn to know? What is consciousness, and how is it that sometimes we are aware and sometimes we are not? What happens if our ego or self dissolves completely? Is consciousness present before all experience? We perceive the world as separate from us. But what if it's not? How do we transform the sensory experiences of our brain into the higher dimensional reality of our consciousness? Meditation has been proven to be the path to understanding the nature of our mind. It lets you feel the pulse of reality. The question remains, how much of reality do you wish to perceive?
I'll give you the precise methodology, technology for you to raise, reach, realize, and manifest Paramadvaita, the ultimate oneness, in as simple way as possible. Understand, literally last 39 years from the age of 5, whatever Paramashiva manifested through teaching, speaking, writing, every way, condensing the whole thing and presenting it to you all as experientially in these 21 days through this Jnana Charya, Jnana Kriya, Jnana Yoga, Jnana Jnana is Mahaparamashivoham. Lifestyle for just Paramashiva. Rituals to be just Paramashiva. Yoga for just being Paramashiva. Jnana, just Paramashiva. This Mahaparamashivoham is like literally the ultimate journey in a most safest way.
Nithyanandam to all the viewers watching us live now through our social media platforms. So now we'll be entering into the next session, which is the session of power manifestation. So in this session, we are going to be understanding the science of power manifestation. We are going to be understanding various aspects of the science of power manifestation, like what is the source of the powers, from where do they come, what is the difference between Shaktis and Siddhis, and ultimately we are going to be seeing a live demonstration of the powers of Paramashiva. So now let us enter into this segment. So first let us see the source of these Shaktis and what is the actual understanding behind the science of the power manifestation. So in the Veda Agamas, the source scriptures of Hinduism, Paramashiva reveals in that every human being is hardwired to manifest the 463 Shaktis of Paramashiva. Manifesting powers are described in a systematic way and science for human beings to explore the various possibilities and powers which Paramashiva has given us. Shaktis manifest from the cognition that you are Paramashiva and not the cognition that you are a human and you need to reach divinity. So now we're going to be seeing the difference between the Shaktis and the Siddhis. The Shaktis are powers that express from the space of enlightenment, and it happens when there is a deep connection between the guru and the disciple, and Shaktis are the source of enlightenment. Whereas on the other hand, Siddhis are powers that manifest when one performs penance, and Siddhis happen only on the path of enlightenment and not from enlightenment. Then we have the Shaktis, which after an initiation from a living enlightened master, only the Shaktis happen. So once you are initiated into a particular lineage by your guru, that time the Shaktis manifest through any ordinary human, regardless of what he has done in his past. And Shaktis are permanent, whereas the Siddhis are not permanent and divert us from the path of enlightenment. Now we are going to be seeing the four aspects, the four evidences that time test and foolproof these Shaktis. So, first we have the Shastra Pramana, which is the scriptural reference for the powers, what Paramashiva has given to us in the Vedas and the Agamas. Then we have the Apta Pramana, which is the experiences of all the rishis and other enlightened masters, incarnations who have come before and walked on this planet Earth. Their experiences and their way of sharing this science to the world is the Apta Pramanas. Then we have the Atma Pramana, which is the experiences of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. How, after each of his experiences, he verifies it with the Shastra Pramana and the Apta Pramana, making sure it is in alignment, and then he shares it to us as his Atma Pramana. Then we have the Pratyaksha Pramana, which is the scientific study on these Shaktis, what science has understood from these manifestations. So now we'll see the source. From where do these Shaktis manifest? How do the Shakti manifest? The answer is Paramashiva. Paramashiva is the source of all these Shaktis. He is the primordial divinity in Hinduism, the ultimate reality, cause which is self effulgent, all pervading, unchanged beyond time, space, and causality as the fundamental base of the manifest and the unmanifest of this cosmos. He manifests the five actions, the Panchakrityas, which create this whole cosmos that we live in. Now we'll understand the ultimate truth about how these Shaktis manifest. When a powerful cognition is understood, digested by us, it manifests through us as Shaktis. So now we're going to be seeing the details of each of the pramana, what the Shastra pramana is, what the Apta pramana is, and what the Apta pramana is. So now we have the Shastra pramana, which is from the Vijnana Bhairava Tantra. Vijnana Bhairava Tantra is a scripture which is directly revealed by Paramashiva to Paramashiva Shakti. And in the Vijnana Bhairava Tantra, Paramashiva gives us the understanding about how the powers manifest from the third eye. It's not only the blindfold reading, but the manifestation of Shaktis, how it happens, is from the Vijnana Bhairava Tantra. So here we have the 34th verse of the Vijnana Bhairava Tantra, where Paramashiva gives us a detailed explanation of how these powers manifest. So the verse goes, Kapalantarmanonyasa Tishtanmilitalochanaha Kramena Manasodhadyat Lakshayet Lakshamuttamam. The translation is, by fixing one's mind on the inner space within the crown center and sitting stably without any movement, with the eyes in succession to the third eye, one has the direct of the ultimate goal, Lakshyam, and has the sight beyond beyond the sight and has the vision of any object or place, and he becomes one with Paramashiva. So this is the Shastra Pramana for the power of the third eye. Then we have the Apta Pramana, the experiences and happenings in the lives of the incarnations and enlightened masters who have come before us. So here we have the Apta Pramana from the Mahabharata, where Bhagavan Sri Krishna gives the Vishwarupa Darshana to Arjuna. What happens is Arjuna asks Krishna that Arjuna wanted to see the cosmic form, the Vishwarupa Darshana of Bhagavan Sri Krishna. At that time, Bhagavan Sri Krishna, in the 8th verse of the 11th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, gives the initiation to Arjuna. So the translation of the 8th verse is, you cannot see my cosmic form with these physical eyes of yours. Therefore, I grant you the divine vision of the third eye. Behold my cosmic form. So after this initiation, Arjuna has the divine vision of Bhagavan Sri Krishna and is able to see the cosmic form and gives a detailed poetic song on the glories of Bhagavan Sri Krishna in the rest of the 11th chapter. Next, we are seeing the Atma Pramana, how the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has experienced this power in his life. So, the experience he had is given in his own words. The first experience I had I was able to see everything around me, above me, below me, the whole 360 degrees in 10 directions. Not only I was able to see, but I was able to feel and experience that all the things around me is me. So this is the direct words of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, how he and how we can see how the power, how his pramana, how his experience is directly in correlation with the Shastra Pramana. Next, we are seeing the Pratyaksha Pramana, how the science has understood and what the science has understood from the manifestation of the third eye. So here we see the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism itself undergoing the PET, the positron emission tomography test, where the energy that is radiated, that is released from the brain, is captured by a machine, and an image is formed with that, showing the amount of energy being radiated from the brain. So when they had conducted that test on the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, they were able to see high amount of energy being released from the frontal lobe in the middle of the forehead, where exactly the third eye is depicted and is said to be in the scriptures. So this same readings and the same kind of readings were replicated in all the balasans and yogis who have also undergone various tests like the EEG test and the fMRI test. So now we'll be entering into the Shastra Pramana for the power of consciousness over matter. Consciousness over matter is one of the powers that manifests from the space of the third eye.
Yes, thank you so much, Paramesha Maharaj. Here we're going to be seeing the Shastra Pramana for the power of consciousness over matter. Kvachid vastuni vinyasya shaineerdrishtam nivartayet tajnanam chinta sahitam devi shunyat layo bhavet. Bhagavan Paramashiva says, having fixed one's eyes, having fixed one's eyes on a particular object, vastu, one should slowly withdraw the sight from that object, as eliminate the knowledge of that object along with the thought, the impressions of it. Then, O Devi, one abides in Shunya, the state where there is nothing other than this exists, which is the state of all, inclusiveness of infinity. This is the Shastra Pramana of the power of consciousness over matter from the Vijnana Bhairava Tantra, revealed by Paramashiva himself. We are now going to be seeing a live demonstration of these powers by Paramesha Maharaj, manifesting the various powers of Paramashiva, manifesting the various Shaktis given by Paramashiva in the Agamas.
Yes, so now we can see my Atmalinga, and that's my Atmalinga, and you can see my hand, and so you can see my hand that there is no kind of any strings which are tied, or there's no kind of abnormality in my hands. And then you can see the Atmalinga. As we know, the Atmalinga is made of a crystalline material, so no kind of magnet can be used to move the Atmalinga. And then there's this tissue paper which I'm going to be using, so to show that there's no strings which are tied to the Atmalinga. So you can see that this tissue paper is just a new tissue paper. So I'm just going to fold it right now. And then after I place the Atmalinga on my hand, I will be circling the Atmalinga, showing that there is no strings tied to the Atmalinga. So I've just placed the Atmalinga, and you can see now I'm circling the Atmalinga. There is no movement which is happening because of anything external. Even when I'm circling the Atmalinga, we can see that there's no movement in the Atmalinga. So by this we can verify that there are no strings which are tied. So I'm going to keep this tissue paper right here, and now let us enter into the manifestation. So before we enter, I would like to request all the participants who are watching us, all the viewers who are watching us now, to also take this beautiful opportunity that Paramashiva has given, and you can also entangle with this space and manifest the Shaktis of Paramashiva. So, any desire you have or any wish you have that you want to manifest will always happen only when you are in oneness with Paramashiva, because at that time only we pull the energy of Paramashiva to flow through us. So when we allow Paramashiva to flow through us is the real time that we actually manifest realities in our life. Every moment we are creating this whole surrounding that we see, but we do it unconsciously because we don't know that Paramashiva can manifest through us. So when we understand that Paramashiva manifests through us, we can channel that energy towards what we want and how we want to manifest it. So now we will be creating a powerful space for Paramashiva to manifest through us. And now I will be chanting the Mahavakya. When I chant the Mahavakya, you can also join along with me and chant the Mahavakya. So now let us enter into the manifestation. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om the Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda 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 Paramashivoham.
Beautifully, Paramesha Maharaj manifested the power of consciousness over matter, of manifesting his will over the Atmalinga. It is not just a manifestation and power game between the objects, but it is getting into the space of oneness with them. When we connect with the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, when we connect with Swamiji, in the space of oneness which we are experiencing with Swamiji, the same space of oneness starts reflecting in everything around us, in our surroundings, in our vatavarna, all the objects, in everything we think about, in all interactions. That space of oneness starts getting manifested more and more. And that is why, through the chanting of the Mahavakya, through having the supreme part of Hinduism's initiation and blessing, these power manifestations are able to happen without any need of any tapas. Just the remembrance of the Master is enough to manifest these various powers on them. This is one of the very beautiful demonstrations of just one of the many, many powers which the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is giving to all of us, the whole world. And so now, with this wonderful demonstration of power manifestation, these powers, these Shaktis are not just possible for just as we are Balasans and we have been initiated by Swamiji directly. These powers are manifesting for us. But these same possibilities are available for you as well. You also have this possibility for manifesting the powers of Paramashiva with the blessings and grace of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. The Paramashiva Home program is where the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism gives these initiations to you, not just as one power of consciousness over matter or third eye reading, but all the various 463 powers of Paramashiva. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism initiates you, blesses you to manifest all of those powers as well. And so, to manifest one or two or any of the 463 powers which you want to manifest, you can scan the QR code which is being projected below, as well as visit the website paramashivoham.org, where you can register yourself for the Paramashivoham program starting on February 9th, and from February 9th to March 1st, the program is going to be conducted and held, where you can experience these powers for yourself, where you can manifest these powers of Paramashiva in your own life. And these powers are not just meant to be something of to be demonstrated. It's not just something which will be, it's a showcase kind of a thing. All these powers which we are manifesting for you, these are just ways to practice where we can initially start manifesting these powers. The real goal, the real key to power manifestation is using the same powers which you're manifesting now in these sessions, applying those in your everyday life, day-to-day life, when you need something, when you're trying to understand another person, trying to understand what is going on in the mind, using the power of clairvoyance, understanding what is going on in their mind, and convincing them, being able to understand them better, and give the proper conclusions and judgments. Power manifestation is not something which is to be, displayed or showcased on a stage. Power manifestation is as useful and as vital for our lives as our cell phones or laptops or other electronic gadgets. So power manifestation is just one of the many, many gifts which Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is giving to this world. With this, we're going to be entering into the next segment of today's program, which is understanding the various frequencies, the various realities in which we are existing upon. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, very beautifully, through a series of satsangs, is going to manifest and is going to explain and clarify, give the correct understanding, give the correct conclusions, understandings, and cognitions about the various cognitions we're supposed to be have, about the frequencies which can be manifested in our reality. So let us now move from the space of hearing to the space of listening, where everything the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism says will automatically become imbibed. When you move from the space of hearing to listening, you will not only acquire the intellectual knowledge which the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is giving, but also understand the energy, the diksha, the consciousness which the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is transmitting through these satsangs. That can happen only in the space of listening. So please sit straight. Whatever distractions you may be having, you can put all of them aside and be completely focused, integrated, and sincere in the process which we're going to do now. So please sit straight, visualize Swamiji in your third eye, and let us now enter into the satsang.
Please understand. I'll introduce this Vibhuti Pada today so that every day the truths we learn can be a powerful technique for you. When you alter the state of consciousness, your biomemory and engrams get a different kind of life. It's like, understand this one example. The projector light and the slide, that example can be really useful for you. If the projector light is burning, or the power of the beam is 100 unit, and any slide is kept, you will see that slide live 100 unit strength. I'm giving you an example. If that projector light is 30 unit and any slide is kept, you will see the slide in reality, in screen, 30 unit. The 30 unit is what I call dream state. 100 unit is what I call conscious, normal waking state. The same projector light is raised to the 1000 unit, and the same slide will be seen totally differently. 1000 unit clarity on the screen. That is what I call superconscious siddhis. Please understand. The same slide, if the power of the projector, power of the light of the projector is altered, the same slide can show you different realities. The same body, this body is the slide you carry. The biomemories written on that is the scenes. The light, projector light, is your consciousness. If the projector light goes to the sleeping mode, 30 unit, you see dull, vague, unconscious, unconnected, ideas flowing as your reality, which we call dream. If that projector light is 100 unit, the movements which are happening in front of you is a waking state. That same thing becomes 1000 unit. The same slide, your body, just the consciousness, the power of the light, projector light, if that is increased to 100 unit, suddenly the reality you experience will become intense, clear, alive, extraordinary. All the people who are experiencing 100 unit will be shocked by the expression of 1000 unit through your body. Understand? Siddhis are nothing but defying the laws of physics, which is experienced by the people who are in 100 unit. But unfortunately, the people who are in the 100 unit does not understand that what they understand as the law of the physics is not ultimate, which do not understand there is something which exists as reality more than their frequency, is called atheist. Fortunate are those who even believe the basic idea there is something more than what they understand. The frequency with which they catch. There is higher frequency and higher reality. Blessed are those who have even simple faith towards this truth. And blessed are those who are ready, are interested in moving towards that higher frequency. Ultimately, blessed are those who catch a glimpse of that higher frequency. See the simple example. If your life is running between thousands, only you can maximum think, imagine, bargain, repay. Your whole life is in the frequency of the thousands of rupees. Then naturally, you will see only the small houses. Your whole world will be only a small houses, ordinary banana fruit, and 2 meals a day, and simple clothes. Your whole world is different. If your frequency is lax, I am talking in economy so that you understand. You will see double bedroom houses. That will be your world. When you wake up, you will see double bedroom houses, apartments, and decent clothes, and 3 meals a day, a new kind of cinema theaters. These are the little different world. I can say Bhur Bhuvaswaha. If you live in crores, then your frequency is little different. You see different independent villas, every day different clothes, different shoes, different jewelry, different lifestyle, different kind of food. If you are handling thousands of crores, if that is your frequency, then you will have a house like a ship, maybe a house in the ship, or ship in the bank of your house, whatever you want. Your frequency is totally different. Understand? This is what I call different worlds. A man who lives in the hundreds of crores will never get to see in his life a life of slum. A man who lives in handles thousands, only thousands, will never even have a chance to look at the world of the thousands of crores man's world. Understand? It is such an important truth. Simple economy itself can make you understand. Same way, the man who lives in 30 unit frequency can never imagine 1000 unit frequency life.
All about the frequency, the vibration for which you are waiting. Universe caters that to you. If you are waiting for frustration, negativity, Kalabhairava sends that. If you are waiting for enlightenment, positivity, powerful Kalabhairava sends you that. I tell you, if you taste the Sattvika Ananda, means the bliss, powerfulness you enjoy when you empower others. For example, every day, all these deep secrets, the sacred secrets, powerful truths, I go on reveal. Every day people apply that in their life and they feel empowered, joyful. When I see their smile, I feel the joy of existence. And I feel empowered. I feel I should teach the truths more and more. I tell you, hard work gets you more hard work. Happy life gets you more happy life.
Living enlightenment means vibrating in the frequency of the cosmic constitution, cosmic truths, universal truths, reverberating with the principles of the universal truths. You need to understand, when the universal truths become the source cognitions for you, when you start reverberating with the universal truths, cosmic constitution, the ultimate cognitions, Paramasatyas, Paramashivas Satyas. It is literally like an elephant entering into a hut. Paramashiva enters into your ignorance and shatters it. Understand how a small hut will be shattered if an elephant enters into it. Same way, when Paramashiva enters into your cognitions, the way you operate. Cognition means whatever you cognize as a life, good, bad, right, wrong, goal, obstacle, what should be done, what should not be done, how much you can do, all these cognitions you have. That is the fundamental decision-making mechanism of your life.
I can give you one small example. Very simple. Actually, I have done this in those days when I used to live in Bididi with a small group of disciples. Even now, our Kailasavasis in Bididi can try this. I'll first explain. If you sit in front of our banyan tree, under a banyan tree, and few people sitting in the Sabdarishi rocks in Ramanagara hill. In the Ramanagara hill, there is a 7 rock, under which there are caves where all the 7 rishis lived. Sabdarishis, even now they are living. That 7 rocks represents 7 Sabdarishis. It is their energy field. Few people should sit under the banyan tree and few people should go there and sit. And you can have a telephone connection, conversation. Just have that fork. You call that spoon fork, vibrating fork. Keep one fork under banyan tree, tuning fork. Keep one fork in that rock, the Sabdarishi rocks. Just vibrate the tuning fork in banyan tree. You will see that the fork on the Sabdarishi rock will vibrate intensely. You can try it today. You can video record it. Because this banyan tree and that Sabdarishi rock is deeply connected through a different frequency than what you understand. Through supernal effulgence, they are connected. All the Sabdarishi and listen to Paramashiva's Vedas and Upanishads and Agama teachings. The tuning fork, the resonance, matching a frequency will simply happen between our banyan tree and that Sabdarishi rock. You can check it. I think the distance physically maybe 2-3 kilometers. At least 2-3 kilometers. And I'm talking about the air distance, not through road. By air, it must be at least 2-3 kilometers. But this tuning fork will vibrate the frequency for the 2-3 kilometer without any time gap. Paramashiva's message directly from Kailasa. Listen. Time and space the continuum of time and space is due to a stuff connecting both. That stuff is called Maya Tattva in Vedic tradition. It is not there, but it is there. Because the time and space, both the dimensions, do not have a clear border, kind of a watertight compartment border. No. Understand this very intensely. For example, if time and space put together is 100 meters, consider an 100-meter cloth as time and space. For some people, 60 meter is time, only 40 meter is space. For some people, only 30 meter is time, 70 meter is space. The time and space continuum and the way it exists as reality for you is not the way it exists as reality for others. That is why some people are so excited to wake up in the morning. Some people feel, oh God, I don't know why I need to open my eyes. Listen carefully. The outer world reality is perceived between certain frequencies. Like I gave the example, 20 hertz to 20,000 hertz sound only can be perceived by any normal human being. Below 20 hertz or above 20,000 hertz, you can't perceive it. You can't hear it. If you experience, it's something extraordinary. Yesterday I saw, when I was giving the satsang itself, she was getting into that mood of anagata dvani, means the sound which is higher frequency than the 20,000 hertz. The experience you had, which you have not shared with anyone, is true. I saw it was happening in her. Understand one thing? Just like the sound, below the 20 hertz, above the 20,000 hertz, can't be heard by normal man, but it can be heard by extraordinary capability. Same way, this reality which all of us are commonly sharing with the word called world, this is also between certain frequency. For example, we will give the same like sound, 20 unit Maya to 20,000 unit Maya. It's only an example I am giving you. Between the 20 unit Maya, 20,000 unit Maya, the hertz for sound, Maya for the reality, I am using Maya word as a unit for reality. Between 20 unit Maya to 20,000 unit Maya, all of us common human beings can experience it as world, as reality. If it goes below 20 unit or above 20,000 unit, you start manifesting powers. Listen. If you unclutch intensely, it will go below 20 unit Maya. You become pure intense. If you go about 20,000 unit Maya, you become pure devotion, feeling connection. But in both you experience oneness. Suddhadvaita Sugabodham. One beautiful thing. This clarity, whether you unclutch and reach below 20 unit Maya or practice devotion, feel connected and reach above 20,000 unit Maya, means the same oneness. Sutta Advaita Sugabodham. If I initiate you into power manifestation, your whole body, mind starts getting grounded in that oneness space. Sutta Advaita Sugabodha. What you manifest is Shakti, not ordinary Siddhi.
Paramashiva's message directly from Sri Kailasa. Listen. The scene is always seen based on the frequency and quality of the existence of the seer. Seen is always seen based on the quality of the existence of the seer. The core of the seer chooses the quantity, quality, impact of the seen on himself and on others who sees seen. Understand? Even what you think as others is part of your seen. So the base for the existence of your first person, second person, third person, all the three are the seer. So do not try to make the seen absolutely independent of the seer by dissolving the responsibility of the seer and the impact of the seer on the seen, whether first person, second person, or third person. Listen. I'll expand now. Fundamentally, you try to establish the scene is independent of seer, so that you can put the responsibility for your life on others. When you realize the truth that seer is responsible for the scene, you need to work, alter, transform, evolve. That's too much of work. You can always say, oh, no. You can always find some false reason why external reasons are responsible, not your internal existence. So fundamentally, you try to build a narrative, grand narrative of the existence is independent of seer. Once you believe this, once you are convincing, once you are able to convince this false delusory idea within you, then you start blaming, then I am not responsible for what is happening outside. Then he is responsible, she is responsible, everyone. So if your guru is asking you to look in and find you are responsible, abuse him also. Understand? The fundamental delusion is making the scene independent of the influence of the seer. Then the seer can claim always victimhood. Understand? Unfortunately, the cosmos will make you a victim if you continuously claim victimhood. Fortunately, cosmos will make you a leader if you continuously claim and realize that you are the leader and responsible for everything. That's the beauty of life. That's the beauty of life. Even to cheat others, never ever use victimhood, because you will start believing it and cosmos will say tathastu to it. Never do that mess. Understand? This one curse I will never want even my enemies to have, even people who cherish enmity towards me. I will never want them to have this suffering. Feeling that they are victim of the universe or the cosmos or the humanity or the whole. That's the worst hell. See, your mind, your delusion thrives making you believe there is so much injustice getting done to you, will be done to you, if your mind and your delusions are not protecting you. And they will absolutely finish you off. It's like you are afraid of losing pennies and you go and put all your money in the bank, and bank takes away the whole thing and declares bankruptcy. That is exactly, understand, it's like you feel, if I keep all the cash in my home, maybe some thief will come and steal $100, or my son will take $200 for a drug. My daughter may take few $100 to date with some boy. My sister may take $100 to buy an iPhone. Not even fear of thief. Just in the family, somebody may take $1 or $2, few dollars. So let me put the whole thing in the bank. And bank declares bankruptcy. See, your mind, your delusion thrives making you believe there is so much injustice getting done to you, will be done to you if your mind and your delusions are not protecting you. Then they will absolutely finish you off. It's like you are afraid of losing pennies and you go and put all your money in the bank, and bank takes away the whole thing and declares bankruptcy. That is exactly, understand, it's like you feel, oh, if I keep all the cash in my home, maybe some thief will come and steal $100, or my son will take $200 for a drug. My daughter may take few $100 to date with some boy. My sister may take $100 to buy an iPhone. Not even fear of thief. Just in the family, somebody may take $1 or $2, few dollars. So let me put the whole thing in the bank. And bank declares bankruptcy.
Yes, Nithyananda. Beautifully, we saw the satsangs, initiations, the teachings given by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism on frequency, on the various types of frequencies, how we can align ourselves to these various levels of frequencies. The completion to experience these various frequency realities, various frequency wavelengths, starts by doing the internalization exercise and having the completion inside ourselves. In this internalization exercise, we're going to be focusing first on penning down one incident when you feel victimized and write down that incident in detail. Here we have an example being given. I am fired from my job by my angry boss without giving any prior notice. These are the moments where you feel that you're being abused by life, you're being mistreated by life, and that you feel you deserved better. You're feeling as a victim of a grand conspiracy or a certain plan which is happening around you, and you are the victim of that. It is only through the completion of these cognitions can all that be removed, can the possibility for you to experience the highest realities, the higher wavelengths and frequencies manifest in you. These incidences which we classify to ourselves, where we feel we are the victims of these problems, these incidents which happen in our life, is what is preventing us from truly experiencing life as it is. This is what is called as our own delusion. Now, Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Swamiji, is giving a way out, a way for us to complete these thought patterns, these incompletions, and open up the possibility to raise our frequency levels. So let us now take a few minutes and pen down. You don't need to pen down all the incidences in your life. Just one incident is enough where you felt you were victimized in your life. Sit and pen down this incident in detail. Once you have identified this incident, this pattern, where you feel you are victimized by life, where you feel life is unjust to you, sit and come to the powerful cognition, to the understanding that everything which is happening in your life is auspicious. When you come to this understanding, you will never feel you are violated by life. Whatever may come, you will only know that it is auspicious for you, it is good for you, and all the best possibilities in life will start manifesting. Only when the junk, only when your garage is cleaned out, you get rid of all the things which are unnecessary there, only then the possibility of new life can happen. Only then the rejuvenation can happen. And so, through this completion process, allow the rejuvenation of your being to happen. Allow the Nithyananda Paramashivam to manifest throughout your entire being. To have a more experiential experience, to have physically, practically in your day-to-day life, have this cognition that you are Paramashiva. You are the Nithyananda Paramashivam has completely manifested in you. The Paramashivam program is being connected by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism himself to give and bold this experience inside you. The QR code as well as the website to register yourself for the Paramashivam program are both being projected. Take a few minutes now to register yourself for the Paramashivam program as you get ready to enter into the next segment of today's program. Please stay tuned, because very shortly after this, we are going to be having the darshan of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism as the Lingodbhava. Thank you, Nithyananda.
Nithyanandam. We welcome all the participants that have joined with us. We welcome all the participants that have joined with us on Facebook, YouTube, and various other social media platforms for this beautiful Bhava Samadhi Darshan of Lingodbhava Murthy. We request and welcome every one of you to stay tuned with us to enjoy this very, very powerful Bhava Samadhi Darshan of Lingodhava Murthy, Mukhalinga Murthy, and Kulishwara Murthy, all the forms of Paramashiva that stand in the center of the universe as the source of the big bangs and black holes, the cosmos.
All my disciples, now I am initiating Salokya Mukti, Samipya Mukti, Sarubhya Mukti,
Every one of you that have joined
Sayujya
with us,
Mukti.
every one of you that are there,
Nithyananda
please
Paramashivam.
get ready to receive a very, very powerful experience of the Bhava Samadhi Darshan. We are literally going to be manifesting the cosmic neurons mirroring in our system. Many of us might experience different situations in life which we are battling with, where we are stuck in the same rut of mundane problems that we are all fighting with. And here, through the Bhava Samadhi Darshan, Swamiji is mirroring this powerful neurons into us, where your brain cells gets awakened to process highest powerful cognitions, highest powerful conscious existence possible. So every one of you that are there here and that are watching us live right now, please understand Bhava Samadhi Darshan is one such powerful process through which you will be able to glimpse into the experience of the highest conscious existence that a human being can possibly achieve. Bhava Samadhi Darshan is that space, the very word Bhava Samadhi Darshan means connecting to the divine through a particular aspect or an attitude called Bhava. And when we are going to keep entering this, all of us are like when we are sitting in the darshan, our brain is superconducting, and we will be able to experience something phenomenal, that something phenomenal takes place in our system, where you move from whatever state that you are in into a divine space, which exudes immense bliss inside your system. You will see this as a visible effect happening inside you, wherein your cell energy starts shooting up high. Yes, this has been proven scientifically, where studies have been conducted on the participants, those who become part of our meditation programs and experience the darshans, who experience 1300% increase in the mitochondrial cell energy. So think that even pay millions of dollars will not be able to ever get, because this is something what the entire scientific community is trying to research. And what Johnson has given to us to such a simple process for us, like it's a simple thing. You need to just be here, be available, and just sit in that deep, calm, peaceful state of mind inside. Just are going to be present physically, even wherever you are, and log in virtually. But the experience that you're going to delve into is something machines and millions of us for hundreds of years. And that experience you're going to get in just one attention. The requirement for this is you just need to be available in the space of gratitude. And the transformation that you're experiencing is something that's so phenomenal, and you can physically see the improvement, the transformation, and the past experience happening inside. You will be experiencing the energy transmission, the realization happening in each of you. And today, the Lingodbhava meeting, literally Paramashivam establishing the Paratva, supremacy, the conscious supremacy. So all of us also can experience that conscious supremacy inside each and every one of us. And let us all get ready to experience this
Bhava Samadhi Darshan of Bhagavan Buddha is its final statement. Let us all prepare ourselves in a peaceful and a calming environment with that peace sit in a deep meditative space. We are not going to be chanting the Dharana Shloka of Lingodbhava and entering into the meditation. Devam garbhagृहस्य मानकहिते लिङ्गे जटाशेखरम् कट्यासक्तकरं वरं च ददतं कृष्णमृगं चाभयम् गव्येदङ्कममेयपादमकुटं ब्रह्माच्युताभ्यां युतम् ऊर्ध्वाधस्थितहं सकोलमहलं लिम्बोद्भवं ज्ञानन्द परमशिवो परमशिवो
Connecting with the divine with your eyes closed is meditation. Connecting with the divine with your eyes open is darshan. Come, let us all now move from meditation with your eyes closed. Slowly, very slowly, please open your eyes.
அஞ்சலென்றடையா பயம் தரும் லிங்கம் ஆனந்த நித்யன் தந்த ஆனந்தலிங்கம் பிணி நீக்கும் உயிர் காக்கும் ஞான ஒளியாக பூத்த நித்யானந்தன் தந்த உயர்லிங்கம் ஆதிலிங்கம் ஜோதிலிங்கம் அற்புதலிங்கம் ஞானலிங்கம் நித்யன் தந்த ஆனந்தலிங்கம் ஆதிலிங்கம் ஜோதிலிங்கம் அற்புதலிங்கம் ஞானலிங்கம் நித்யன் தந்த ஆனந்தலிங்கம் பதிதனிலே மலைவல வழிதனிலே அருமையாய் அமர்ந்த நித்யன் ஆனந்தலிங்கம் அருணயம் பதிதனிலே மலைவல வழிதனிலே அருமையாய் அமர்ந்த நித்யன் ஆனந்தலிங்கம் கருதிடும் அடியவரின் மலையெனும் துயர்களையே கடுகன உடைக்கும் நித்யன் ஆனந்தலிங்கம் கருதிடும் அடியவரின் மலையெனும் துயர்களையே கடுகன உடைக்கும் நித்யன் ஆனந்தலிங்கம் கவலைகள் விடி உறவே அவலங்கள் பொடிப்படவே கருணையின் அருளழகாய் ஆனந்தலிங்கம் கவலைகள் விடி உறவே அவலங்கள் பொடிப்படவே கருணையின் அருளழகாய் ஆனந்தலிங்கம் சுயமதை உணர்த்திடவே சுகமதில் நிலை பெறவே தவநிலை குயத்தும் நித்யன் ஆனந்தலிங்கம் சுயமதை உணர்த்திடவே சுகமதில் நிலை பெறவே தவநிலை குயர்த்தும் நித்யன் ஆனந்தலிங்கம் தவநிலை குயர்த்தும் நித்யன் ஆனந்தலிங்கம் ஆதிலிங்கம் ஜோதிலிங்கம் அற்புதலிங்கம் ஞானலிங்கம் நித்யன் தந்த ஆனந்தலிங்கம் ஆதிலிங்கம் ஜோதிலிங்கம் அற்புதலிங்கம் ஞானலிங்கம் நித்யன் தந்த ஆனந்தலிங்கம் பிணிகளை போக்கிவிடும் பிற போக்கிவிடும் உயர்நிலை வாழ்வளிக்கும் ஆனந்தலிங்கம். பிணிகளை போக்கிவிடும் பிறவியும் போக்கிவிடும் உயர்நிலை வாழ்வளிக்கும் ஆனந்தலிங்கம். மனிதருக்கரியதொரு அரூபரூபமெனும் அஜோமுகத்தை காட்டும் ஆனந்தலிங்கம். மனிதருக்கரியதொரு அரூபரூபமெனும் அஜோமுகத்தை காட்டும் ஆனந்தலிங்கம். அமரர்கள் உலகமெல்லாம் அருள் பெற விரதம் கொண்ட 1008 நித்திய ஆனந்தலிங்கம். அமரர்கள் உலகமெல்லாம் அருள் பெற விரதம் கொண்ட 1008 நித்திய ஆனந்தலிங்கம். குணக்கடல் குவலயத்தை குறைவின்றி காக்க எங்கள் குரு நித்யானந்தன் தந்த ஆனந்தலிங்கம். குணக்கடல் குவலயத்தை குறைவின்றி காக்க எங்கள் குரு நித்யானந்தன் தந்த ஆனந்தலிங்கம். குரு நித்யானந்தன் தந்த ஆனந்தலிங்கம். ஆதிலிங்கம் ஜோதிலிங்கம் அற்புதலிங்கம் ஞானலிங்கம் நித்யம் தந்த ஆனந்தலிங்கம். ஆதிலிங்கம் ஜோதிலிங்கம் அற்புதலிங்கம் ஞானலிங்கம் நித்யம் தந்த ஆனந்தலிங்கம். அயனறி கருளிடவே அக்னி வடிவினிலே அருணையில் உதித்த நித்ய ஆனந்தலிங்கம். அயனறி கருளிடவே அக்னி வடிவினிலே அருணையில் உதித்த நித்ய ஆனந்தலிங்கம். அன்பருக்காதரவாய் ஆலமிடற்றினிலே கட்டிய நாத நித்ய ஆனந்தலிங்கம். அன்பருக்காதரவாய் ஆலமிடற்றினிலே கட்டிய நாத நித்ய ஆனந்தலிங்கம். ஆதியும் அந்தமில்லா ஜோதியின் ரூபமென சூட்சமாத்மமான ஆனந்தலிங்கம். ஆதியும் அந்தமில்லா ஜோதியின் ரூபமென சூட்சமாத்மமான ஆனந்தலிங்கம். முக்தர்கள் பக்தரெல்லாம் முக்தியடைந்து விட மூலமதாக நின்ற ஆனந்தலிங்கம். முக்தர்கள் பக்தரெல்லாம் முக்தியடைந்து விட மூலமதாக நின்ற ஆனந்தலிங்கம். மூலமதாக நின்ற ஆனந்தலிங்கம். ஆதிலிங்கம் ஜோதிலிங்கம் அற்புதலிங்கம் ஞானலிங்கம் நித்யம் தந்த 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 ஆனந்தலிங்கம். விடும் ஆன்மீக வேட்கைதனை தீயன மூட்டும் நித்ய ஆனந்தலிங்கம். ஊழ்வினை மாய்த்து விடும் ஆன்மீக வேட்கைதனை தீயன மூட்டும் நித்ய ஆனந்தலிங்கம். வாழ்மனம் கொள்ளும் பெரும் எண்ணங்கள் யாவையுமே பாங்குடன் நீக்கிவிடும் ஆனந்தலிங்கம். பாழ்மனம் கொள்ளும் பெரும் எண்ணங்கள் யாவையுமே பாங்குடன் நீக்கிவிடும் ஆனந்தலிங்கம். தாழ்வுகள் போக்கிவிடும் தீமைகள் நீக்கி நம்மை தூயவனாக்கும் ஆனந்தலிங்கம் வேண்டிட தந்துவிடும் ஆனந்தலிங்கம் ஆதிலிங்கம் ஜோதிலிங்கம் அற்புதலிங்கம் ஞானலிங்கம் நித்யம் தந்த ஆனந்தலிங்கம் ஆதிலிங்கம் ஜோதிலிங்கம் அற்புதலிங்கம் ஞானலிங்கம் நித்யம் தந்த ஆனந்தலிங்கம் புண்ணியம் செய்த பெரும் பக்குவர் உள்மனதில் தெள்ளமுதாயி நிற்கும் ஆனந்தலிங்கம் புண்ணியம் செய்த பெருமனதில் தெள்ளமுதாயி நிற்கும் ஆனந்தலிங்கம் பண்ணொடு பரதமெனும் 64 கலை உள்ளிருந்தாட்சி செய்யும் ஆனந்தலிங்கம் பண்ணொடு பரதமெனும் 64 கலை உள்ளிருந்தாட்சி செய்யும் ஆனந்தலிங்கம் பெண் அவள் செய்த தவம் பாதியை தந்த பெரும் பேரருள் செய்த நித்யன் ஆனந்தலிங்கம் பெண் அவள் செய்த தவம் பாதியை தந்த பெரும் பேரருள் செய்த நித்யன் ஆனந்தலிங்கம் விண்ணவர் மன்னவரும் வேண்டிடும் வரமெதுவும் வேண்டும் உணருளும் நித்யன் ஆனந்தலிங்கம் விண்ணவர் மன்னவரும் வேண்டிடும் வரமெதுவும் வேண்டும் உணருளும் நித்யன் ஆனந்தலிங்கம் வேண்டும் உணருளும் நித்யன் ஆனந்தலிங்கம் ஆதிலிங்கம் ஜோதிலிங்கம் அற்புதலிங்கம் ஞானலிங்கம் நித்யம் தந்த ஆனந்தலிங்கம் ஆதிலிங்கம் ஜோதிலிங்கம் அற்புதலிங்கம் ஞானலிங்கம் நித்யம் தந்த ஆனந்தலிங்கம் மூவினை தீர்த்துவிடும் மூல மறுத்துவிடும் சாவினை வீழ்த்திவிடும் ஆனந்தலிங்கம் மூவினை தீர்த்துவிடும் மூல மறுத்துவிடும் சாவினை வீழ்த்திவிடும் ஆனந்தலிங்கம் காமம் அழித்துவிடும் காதல் உரைத்துவிடும் சோமனணிந்த நித்யன் ஆனந்தலிங்கம் காமம் அழித்துவிடும் காதல் உரைத்துவிடும் சோமனணிந்த நித்யன் ஆனந்தலிங்கம் ஆவியை ஏத்துவிடும் ஆறுயிராக்கிவிடும் நாவுய நால்வர் தொழும் ஆனந்தலிங்கம் ஆவியை ஏத்துவிடும் ஆறுயிராக்கிவிடும் நாவுய நால்வர் தொழும் ஆனந்தலிங்கம் பேதையும் வாழ்வினுக்கே பேரருளான அந்த பூரண ஞானம் தரும் ஆனந்தலிங்கம் பேதையும் வாழ்வினுக்கே பேரருளான அந்த பூரண ஞானம் தரும் ஆனந்தலிங்கம் பூரண ஞானம் தரும் ஆனந்தலிங்கம் ஆதிலிங்கம் ஜோதிலிங்கம் அற்புதலிங்கம் ஞானலிங்கம் நித்யம் தந்த ஆனந்தலிங்கம் ஆதிலிங்கம் ஜோதிலிங்கம் அற்புதலிங்கம் ஞானலிங்கம் நித்யம் தந்த ஆனந்தலிங்கம் ஆதிலிங்கம் ஜோதிலிங்கம் அற்புதலிங்கம் ஞானலிங்கம் நித்யம் தந்த ஆனந்தலிங்கம் ஆதிலிங்கம் ஜோதிலிங்கம் அற்புதலிங்கம் ஞானம் நித்யம் தந்த ஆனந்தலிங்கம் ஆதிலிங்கம் ஜோதிலிங்கம் அற்புதலிங்கம் ஞானலிங்கம் நித்யம் தந்த ஆனந்தலிங்கம் ஆதிலிங்கம் ஜோதிலிங்கம் அற்புதலிங்கம் ஞானலிங்கம் நித்யம் தந்த ஆனந்தலிங்கம்
संयुक्तं नित्यं ध्यायन्ति योगिनः कामदमोक्षदं चैव ओंकाराय नमो नमः 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 नमन्ति ऋषयो देवा नमन्त्यप्सरसाङ्कनाः नरा नमन्ति देवेशं नकाराय नमो नमः 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 महादेवं महात्मानं महाध्यानपरायणं महापापहरं देवं मकाराय नमो नमः 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 शान्तं जगन्नाथं लोकानुग्रहकारकं शिवमेकपदं नित्यं शिकाराय नमो नमः 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 वृषभो यस्य वासुकी कण्ठभूषणं वामे शक्तिधरं देवं वाकाराय नमो नमः 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 यत्र यत्र स्थितो देव सर्वव्यापी महेश्वरः यो गुरु सर्वदेवानां यकाराय नमो नमः 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 षडक्षरमिदं स्तोत्रं यः पठेत् शिवसन्निधौ शिवलोकमवाप्नोति शिवेन सह मोदते शिवेन सह मोदते सर्वे जना सुखिनो भवन्तु ॐ शान्ति शान्तिः 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 ॐ शान्ति शान्तिः ॐ शान्ति शान्तिः ॐ शान्ति शान्तिः ॐ शान्ति शान्तिः
प्रकरणास्थितिर्विभुः सुतीक्ष्ण दशनश्चैव महकायो महाननः ॐ नमः शिवाय हरि ओं नमः शिवाय 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 विश्वक्सेनो हरिर्यज्ञ संयुगापीठवाहनः
You all had such a beautiful darshan of Bhagavan Lingodbhava Murthy, the darshan of this form of Paramashiva, who stands tall amidst all the universes that revolve around him, who is the source of the Big Bang and black holes in the cosmos. Connecting to this form of Paramashiva bestows all of us with the experience of ultimate experiencing the Big Bangs and black holes of the cosmos. Now, we thank every one of you that joined with us for the Bhava Samadhi Darshan of Lingodbhava Murthy, all the Paramashivoham participants, all the Mahaparamashivoham participants, all the viewers that are watching us on YouTube and Facebook. We thank every one of you that joined us here. And for you to experience these Bhava Samadhi Darshans live, sitting at the feet of Swamiji, receiving the Naina Diksha, and if you want to gain access to some of the exclusive sessions with Swamiji, do not miss. Sign up for Mahaparamashivam, which is starting on the 9th of February 2023. So do not miss. You all can sign up and join that. And for all the viewers that are watching us on the 5th of February, in just 3 days, we are marking the auspicious occasion of Thaipusam celebration. We are having a very, very special Bhava Samadhi Darshan of Shanmukha Subramanya, the darshan of the 6 faces of Subramanya. So do not miss. Please join us and sign up for it and join us for the live Bhava Samadhi Darshan. We thank every one of you that tuned in for the darshan.